Hi, I'm Shayna from At the Table with the Herndons. We've had a blast filming our cooking show over the last few months. It's truly been a blessing to share our family recipes with you and to talk about various subjects with our special guests like hot topic discussions, dating, marriage, and even sharing our own personal struggles. We hope that our show has truly been a blessing to you. We thought it would be really cool to do a best of At the Table with the Herndons episode this month, so we've chosen some of our all-time favorite episodes we filmed and we want to share them with you. Again, I hope you enjoy the recipes and the conversations in each of these episodes. If you like this video, we ask that you just like it below. And then also, if you have any questions or comments, please just leave that below as well. Please share this video with your friends and family. We love you, God bless, and here we go.
All right, we'd like to welcome you back to this week's episode. We are going to be continuing with our date night meal. We're going to make a candied carrots today. And so we also want you guys to say hi to the Delphines, which is Jordy and Wendy. Say hi to them.
Hey, everyone.
They are here joining us. This is so awesome. I'm super excited to have them here with us. And so what we're going to do is to get started. I like these baby carrots, and they come with the green stalk on them. I just cut that off the top. And what I actually do, because I use these in the preparation, these fronds, is I will just chop these up into little bits and put them to the side because they make an awesome garnish. And you can just run your knife through. Now, if you don't have or can't find these type of carrots, you can use just any regular type of carrot. You just want to cut it into uniform sizes because you want them to cook together and you want them to cook evenly. But I prefer these. I mean, since this is date night, you want them to be special. And so what I like to do is cut down the middle of not only the stem, but also through the center of the carrot so that both sides have the actual stem on top of it. And so, see how that is? Yeah. It just looks sexy, looks cool. It's a special date night thing. And so we have all of our carrots here. Like I said, if you can't find these or, for whatever reason, you can just take regular carrots, cut it into quarters and cut it in half and you'll come out with something. But as you can tell, that looks better, right? Now what we're going to do, now we've got all our carrots cut up, we're going to go ahead and place some oil in our pan. And just want to throw those in. And what we have is we have about 2 tablespoons of butter. We have a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And we've got about a 1/4 cup of water. And then we have some honey. And so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get some brown on our baby carrots. And so we're just going to let them cook away.
How important do you guys think date nights are? Or as you can say, spending time together, and what do your date nights look like?
Date night, I think, particularly, I think people don't see the value of it, like when they're newly married, they don't have kids. I think it's extremely important to continue down that road. We've had, I think, more challenges in that area since we had Ari, because we were just about every week, every Friday night or Saturday night. We are kind of like foodies, as you can tell. Literally get dressed, like not sweatpants and
Yeah, like
a
you're
bun.
going on a real date,
Yeah.
right?
And I think that's important. I believe that if you are not careful, you'll become his wife when you used to be his girlfriend. And I'm telling you, the kiss of death in a relationship is where, even though, yes, you're in covenant and you are now his wife in terms of, in the eyes of God, in the eyes of covenant, but you cannot stop becoming his girlfriend because who he dated was his girlfriend. And when his girlfriend dressed up for him, his girlfriend spent time getting ready, and the next you know, now you're wifey and you want to walk around with sweatpants and your hair in a bun and then be salty that he doesn't particularly care for that. And by the same token, he's sitting on the couch scratching and he doesn't put cologne on like he used to. You know what I'm saying? There were things you used to do because you wanted to impress each other and you wanted to be what the other person wanted. And then there's a complacency that kind of sets in and you start to change, you know, into settle down. And I'm not going to do all that anymore. I don't need to do all that anymore.
They did all those things to get you, and now I have you. I don't need to continue doing that because I got you.
Exactly.
And so that's something that's really big for us. And like you said, it's a lot harder now that we have a baby. But for us, when we were dating, we went out all the time. And when we got married, we continued with that same thing because it's just important. Your life drifts to complexity. You get busy, and sometimes you can lose sight of what's important. And so that is always like the recalibration for us, you know, during a long week or a stressful week and that type of thing is just to come back together and to have time set apart for just the two of us.
And I think one of the things for us is we always go to bed at the same time, every night. And although we may not get out to a date, but when we put Ari down, it's our time. We do things together. And then when we go to bed every single night together. So we're gonna get a little color on these, and as you can see, they're starting to get a little color. And so what we'll do is I season with just a little bit of salt, and you're gonna take your water, because now what you wanna do is steam them. So you throw your water in and put your lid on top. One of the things I love about cooking is when you're in your kitchen, you can do whatever you want, right? I don't like mushy carrots. I don't like mushy vegetables, period. So I like my vegetables to be probably what some people would say slightly underdone, but I like them to have a little bit of tooth to them. So as you're cooking them, you can kind of tell by how flexible they are as to where they're at. And if they're not completely the way you want them in terms of doneness, all you have to do is put a little bit of water in there and cover it back up and let it steam a little bit more. And so you pan sear it because you want to put a little bit of color on it, and then you steam it because you want to soften them.
I noticed that with those carrots, you didn't peel them or peel the skin off. And I've noticed that with eating those carrots with the skin on versus eating just a regular sized carrot, that the skin actually seemed thicker on the bigger carrots. And I was just wondering, is the skin thinner on that?
It is. And so what I actually do is I take the carrot and I'll take a knife and I'll just scrape it.
Okay.
But I won't peel it, because when you use a peeler, they're already small.
Right.
So when you use a peeler, it becomes way too small. Now what I'll do is I'll let them, with the lid off, I'll let them continue to cook until the water starts to evaporate. And you can see you're getting color on them. So now, once you've got most of your water reduced, you want to put your butter in. Then you want to drop your brown sugar in, and you want to just mix that up. The butter will melt, the brown sugar will melt, and you'll start to develop a caramel.
Can you give us a quick lesson on how you flick the pan? It's all on the wrist.
It's a flick of the wrist, y'all. It's really not like a flip like that. It's more of an in and around. And so you're going just like that. You want to make sure they're all coated. And then the last thing you want to do is drop about a tablespoon of honey. And this kind of gives it a kind of a consistency where it'll thin it out. Now, let me tell you something. This is extremely hot. So you do not want to taste it straight out of the pan. You want to let this kind of cool down a little bit. It's going to thicken as well. If you've never been burned, hot butter and caramel, trust me when I tell you, this is not what you want. Up, adjust them onto the plate. You take some of your fronds, you just sprinkle those on top. There you go. Thank you. Bon appetit.
Wow, really sweet.
Wow.
So good.
And so when you pan sear them, it brings out the sweetness of the carrot. And you always want to add a little bit of salt because salt will make it even sweeter. And then you just mix the glaze and there you go.
So Pastor, this question is for you. What advice can you give to someone the moment that they discover the calling on their life?
I think the absolute first thing I tell them is forget about it and don't do it. Because there's too many people in ministry that feel like they have a call and they really don't, and they're messing up things because they're not really called. But if they are genuinely called and we've gotten past the don't do it stage and they know there's nothing else, it's like a fire shut up in their bones, they have to do it, then connect with someone who is willing to lead you and guide you and impart into you and develop you into the calling that you have. Because just like electricity, you can't go and become an electrician without being trained and apprenticing through someone. And so if people have respect for electricity, why do people not have enough respect for God? To know that you just can't just jump out there and do anything. You got to make sure that you have a period of development, because the time between the call and the separation is preparation. And preparation time is never wasted time. And sometimes people are like, well, I just feel an urgency. Listen, God knew when he called you what it was going to take to get you where you need to go.
Right.
So God is not in a rush because he wants you to not be a firecracker ministry where you're here today and gone tomorrow, but he wants you to be that slow burn that will be effective for the kingdom. Anything else?
Well said.
Uh-oh, holla. So here's an at the table quick tip for you. These are two different types of butter. This one on my right, your left, is a regular butter that you find just about in every store. This is a traditional brand. And then this one here is an actual European butter. And you can actually tell by the color of it, this one is a little more yellow, which means that the cows that produce this one were more grass-fed, and that's why they're yellow. Anytime you're looking at butter, the yellower the butter is, the better it is. If you are looking just to do something where you're adding butter to something you're going to cook, I stay with the regular. But if you're going to finish, like you finish a sauce where you use a pat of butter at the very end to finish it, I would use a higher quality and a better grade butter. So that's your at the table with the Herndon's quick tip. Welcome to M4, the Monday Morning Master's Mind, where we take a few minutes every Monday morning to discuss an insightful and practical biblical leadership principle. We quickly distill it and make it easy to apply so you can go further and faster in business or ministry. These biblical insights have been curated from some of the most successful movers and shakers, the best kingdom-minded thought leaders in the world, and from over 25 years and thousands of dollars of workshops and conferences and hundreds of books, to include what I believe the most important book of all, the Bible. I also include practical applications from more than 2.5 decades of entrepreneurial experience, as well as over 15 years of ministry. After all, I'm an actual practitioner and not just talking about theory. Over the past quarter of a century, I have started and sold several successful businesses as a serial entrepreneur and helped establish several ministries. I've authored almost a dozen books and I've read hundreds more. I have curated some of the best ministry principles and business practices that truly work. While I will never purport the idea to tell you how to do what you do, whether in ministry or business, only you can be you. But every Monday morning through this LeaderCast, I would like to sit down with you and share one big idea and then give you the whole week to process it, to allow God to expand it. And then if you feel that it will help you, then you can implement it and see what God can do. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Just because we know it doesn't mean we've mastered it. Having the right tools as a leader is mission critical and essential to the long-term success of the organizations that we lead. Implementing these key insights will help us move further, faster. There's a quote by Jim Rohn that says, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune." It is important as we seek to be effective in the world in which we live, we need resources to include money, but also equipment, buildings, people to effectively accomplish all that God has called us to do. While I lead several different organizations ranging from the sacred to the secular, I have found that every time I have grown, the organization has grown. My personal growth has been the single most effective tool to growing our church and growing our businesses. Those that know me know that I'm a very introverted and very private person. But for the first time, I'm opening up my personal extensive notes and library, and I'm sharing it all with you. I am confident that regardless of what level of leadership you are currently in, whether you are a business or whether you're a ministry, there will always be something that will help and bless you. It is our desire to help you with the tools, the clarity, and confidence to level up your leadership. Until next time, level up. All right, so we want to thank you for joining us for this episode and let you know next episode we're going to be cooking our citrus grilled shrimp along with our broiled lobster tails. And so we want to invite you back next week. We love you guys. We will see you on the other side.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a second and ask you, as you're watching these videos, to share them with your friends and family, like, comment. If you're actually cooking some of the food that we're sharing with you, I want you to post a picture of your final product and tag us in it so we can see the things that you guys are doing. So like, share, subscribe. I also want you to go onto our YouTube channel and to like, comment, share, and subscribe our videos as we share things with you. Thanks so much.